Hello, Ram fans, and welcome to Meet the Rams, Driving the Lane, a sister companion show to Above the Rim done every bye week. To my right here is head coach of women's basketball, Scott Hyland. How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm enjoying my Halloween, as you can tell.
It looks like you are enjoying it.
This is not my typical attire. This is just for the event, so I do have to take the hair off, though, because it's a little itchy.
Scott, since you're a new face on campus here, would you mind just introducing yourself out there to Ram Nation if somebody doesn't know?
Absolutely. Born and raised in Minnesota, went to the University of Mary in Bismarck, North Dakota. Was an NAIA program at that time. They're D2 now. Played there for 4 years. Assistant men's coach there for 3. And the first of my 11 stops in coaching. Was on the men's side at the NAIA D2 level. Got out of basketball for a couple of years. Worked in the health fitness industry and then got back in. Was an NAIA head coach in Omaha, Nebraska. Been a JUCO coach at a couple of places. Division II head coach at Texas A&M Kingsville. Couple of stops as a D1 assistant. But could not be more happy than to be here at my 11th stop, Texas Wesleyan. It's just been a great situation here. Great people. The drive right now is a little bit more than I'd like to have, but I look forward to coming in every day. It's just been great. Got great people to work with.
Now, you were telling me an interesting story in the hallway before we came in here about how you found your calling to get into coaching. Do you mind sharing that story?
My senior year at the University of Mary, we had a freshman, Chuck Welch. Chuck was a great talent, great athlete out of Montana. Terrible shot and a kind of had a hard time showing up to places on time a lot. But the Rod Jonas, our head coach that year, Rod kind of gave me the role of making sure Chuck got where he needed to be and whatnot. And so my senior year, I was typically first, second man off the bench, and it was late in the season. And I hear my name called, and I take my shooting shirt off, and I jog on down to the coach, and he looks up at me, he says, "Go make sure Chuck is ready to go in." I jog back, and that's when I knew it was my playing days were over. It was time to get ready to start coaching. So.
Now, Coach, this Rams team that you have this year, it's lost, I believe, 6 players from last year's team that was conference champions, including Player of the Year, Curtisa Amos, who you have a personal relationship with.
Yeah.
You just want to talk about the personal relationship you had with
him? I first saw Teese play in a back gym at her high school at Centennial down in Burleson her senior year when I was at Hill College. Couldn't score, couldn't shoot it, but just great energy and passion for the game. And we signed Teese at Hill, and she just steadily got better and better and better. Her sophomore year, you could see, she was really starting to develop. Great defender, mid-range jumper was coming, and when she ended up coming here to Texas Wesleyan. Wasn't completely surprised at the success. The scoring was a little bit of a shock. In fact, for a couple of years in the office, the joke was, that I was the only one that could hold Teese to, keep her into single digits. Great person, great family, and it was just a joy, getting a chance to coach her and several of her teammates those 2 years. We had a great run. Wish her all the best out at Midwestern with Coach Jackson and the rest of the crew, because she's just a great person and somebody that I'm just blessed to have gotten a chance to be a part of her life.
Now, you spoke about Coach Jackson. She has a totally different philosophy than you do when it comes to playing the game. You just want to talk about your philosophy to the game?
Sure. In terms of style of play, about 5 years ago at Hill, we had some really successful teams, but just couldn't get over the hump. We couldn't beat the best. And midway through that year, 2018-19, we had lost to 5 nationally ranked teams. I had made the decision to go with something that we had played around a little bit with, which was we're going to run 2 units, 5 in, 5 out, about every 90 to 100 seconds, and we're just going to play fast. Really create tempo. We're going to press, create a lot of chaos, and we ended up winning a conference title. And the next year, I think we finished third, and then we run off 2 more conference titles. And so it's been really good for us. It's been great, for team morale. We're playing 10 to 12 people on a regular basis. They play hard. It's exciting. Fans love it. The girls, like I said, really enjoy it because there's not a lot of restrictions. We play a very simple game, as I tell them. It's not easy. It takes a lot of discipline. There's some things that have to occur, effort being number one, but they really have enjoyed it. And this group has kind of adapted it pretty quickly. We haven't gotten as much time playing due to a scrimmage being canceled and another one kind of getting cut short because our numbers were a bit short due to injuries. But it's been great during the process of getting it implemented, our system. I just see the improvement on a daily basis as they're getting a better feel for what we do, how fast we want to play, but also the freedom that they have to play with, and watching them as they grow and develop, which, on overall, that's the big thing we're really trying to do is help them grow and develop as athletes, as students, and as people. And so, again, our playing style kind of fits with that. The world is a fast-paced, crazy world. You got to make a lot of decisions quick. You got to learn from your failures fast. And so they kind of go hand in hand.
Now, Coach, you talked about some of the challenges you had here. What are some of the strategies you use to motivate and build team morale?
Oh, boy. Everyone's a little different. Every team is a little different. The one thing that I would say really holds true, especially with this generation, is if they know you care, you're going to get their best. And so one of the things that we've done probably the last 3 years or so, and we've implemented it here, is I meet with the girls individually for about 15, 20 minutes every other week, and most of the time we talk about anything but basketball. Basketball will sneak its way in once in a while, but it's just getting to know them and helping them understand what we're looking for and what we want for them. When I was at Hill, the plan was to get them ready to go to the next level. Well, this is the next level, and so now we're trying to get them ready for the next 30, 40 years in the workforce and raising a family and whatever else. So getting a chance to get to know them and them understanding the expectations is a huge part, I think, of the growth process. And then, from a motivation standpoint, like I said, is if they know you care, you're going to get great things from them, and especially if you got the right people. And we've got the right people, no question.
Now, Coach, you've already started your season here. A lot of road games heavy to start out with, but last Friday you played in Shreveport against Louisiana State University Shreveport, beating them 79-72 in overtime. You just want to talk about that game and your team's performance in that game?
Well, we won. My wife Yvonne, I'll use her words. That was ugly, and it was. The way we play can get kind of ugly. Offensively, we've got a lot of work to do. We're talented. We're still trying to figure some things out. The importance of, as we talk about our process, getting to the right spots, the pace that we want to play with, the ball movement, the spacing. Defensively, there's some things still we're trying to figure out. The things that I saw Friday that really caught my eye in a positive was, we fell behind early. We kept battling, got the lead, built a nice lead, and then late in the game we lost the lead, and the girls just stayed with the process. They kept battling, they kept believing in what we were doing. We end up managing to tie the game up, or they actually tied it up late, about a second to go. But then in the overtime, there was they were very calm, collected, ready to go. So that for one, I think we've got some fight in us. I saw also us get better and better and better offensively and defensively. Our execution on offense, our communication on defense, the ability to manage adjustments that we made during the game. I thought the girls did a really good job. And then we got a chance to kind of see, even though we didn't play nearly as fast as we will and I would like, you saw the fatigue start setting in with LSU Shreveport. And, they shot the ball pretty well. They're a very strong team. But in the overtime, they shoot 9% from the field. And a lot of it was you could see they had no legs left. That said, 3 of our 10 that we were playing fouled out in the fourth quarter, one early in the overtime, and we had really whittled the bench down to the 5 that we played in the overtime for the most part. And so the fact that we still had some energy left in the tank while they had nothing, one, I think, again, speaks for our process, how we want to play, but, as well as the grit and the conditioning, of our team.
Now, coming up this week, you have 2 games. You're going to be on the road, I believe it is Saturday at Paul Quinn. Then Monday, you're going to travel to play Oklahoma Wesleyan. You just want to talk about those 2 teams.
Sure. Paul Quinn had a nice win last night at home. Played Arlington Baptist, won by about 8, I think 86-78. They got a couple girls can really shoot the ball. They're not going to be as big as LSU Shreveport, which will be nice because we're not that big of a team. I do think we're a little bit faster, a little bit more athletic, definitely deeper, and so it's going to be critical, for us to these next few days in practice. We've got some things like I said we've got to get better at, make some improvements, and then on Saturday we want to see those things executed. Offensively, like I said, we've got to execute better. We've got to take better care of the basketball. They do provide a little pressure on the ball that could give us fits, but hopefully we'll handle that all right. And then defensively, we've just got to tighten some things up. A lot of it is just communication, understanding, on our defense, what we're saying to who, when. Right now we're about a step behind, but after watching film yesterday, we're going to have another film session tomorrow before practice. That has really helped them see where we're headed and understanding the adjustments we're trying to make. So I feel really good about Saturday. And then turning right around on Monday kind of replicates our conference schedule. I wanted to try to get that in the non-conference, playing 2 games in 3 days. So we'll travel then to Oklahoma. We'll get out of here Monday morning, get up there, take our time, play, and get home because we want to get them to class. And, Oklahoma Wesleyan right now don't know a whole lot about. I do know that they lost to Langston, I think, on Saturday pretty handily. Watching some video of Oklahoma Wesleyan from last year, again, we should be faster. We should be a little bit more athletic, deeper, and so hopefully we can utilize those characteristics to pull out another win.
And Coach, last question I'm going to pose to you today is, it seems like a lot of what you're talking about is based on fundamentals. How do you balance between fundamentals and creative play?
Oh boy, so much of what these student athletes are coming to us with is, the time they spend with their personal trainers. Fundamental skills that they just don't translate enough. They look great on TV, and they but to our game and the level of play, they just don't translate. So we almost have to deprogram them to some extent to get a good foundation of the fundamentals. A lot of it too, though, is an understanding of how to play the game. The importance of spacing, timing. We talk too a lot about just time and situation. I think that